Hello and welcome to the OCVarsity Gridiron Show, Week 8. We're here at Mater Dei High School to preview a little game coming up this weekend, guys. I'm your host, freelance video journalist Jonathan Khamis, being joined by Dan Albano to my left and Steve Fryer to my right. Big game of the week. It's Mater Dei versus St. John Bosco. St. John Bosco and Mater Dei are both 2-0 in league. Mater Dei, they beat Santa Margarita last week 49-7. Bryce Young continues his tear, Dan. He was 11 of 14. He had 4 touchdowns passing. This kid's accuracy is out of control, and you know he needs to be just as accurate to beat the Bosco Braves, Dan.
Yeah, Bryce is completing 77% of his passes, which is just pretty much off the charts. You know, usually a lot of high school coaches over the years have said if you can complete 65 to 67% of your passes, you're doing an outstanding job. And he's got that clutch ability to to come through when it really matters, when they need a big play, a big drive. They've already had that signature moment against IMG, leading that game-winning drive in the final minutes a couple weeks back, and he's going to have to be spectacular again to beat a really good Bosco team.
Bosco's got a great signal caller of their own, Steve, and DJ Ugalele. He had 3 touchdown passes last week, 2 touchdowns rushing in a victory against Orange Lutheran. They beat Olu 63-28. Every year, it's always Mater Dei Bosco, the biggest game of the year. This year's no different, Steve.
Yeah, this Bosco team presents a lot of challenges for Mater Dei. They've got a great group of receivers with Chris Hudson, who's going to USC, and Colby Bowman, who's on his way to Stanford. 2 really good receivers. They also got to put some pressure on DJ Ugalele, that great quarterback you just mentioned. Big guy, he's going to be hard to bring down, and he's also pretty mobile for a guy of his size. So these are great challenges for the Mater Dei defense and defensive coordinator Eric Johnson.
So we caught up with Mater Dei head coach Bruce Rollinson and a couple of players earlier. Here's what they had to say.
I don't care about all the rankings, and everybody says, oh, this has got ramifications, but I do care about one thing, and you know what it is. It's the seeding, trying to get that 1 seed in the bracket, because somebody's going to the other side, and there's a big old dog waiting down there named Corona Centennial. Now that's a real motivation for my staff, and I think that's what my kids think about. Not that we're the #1 seed, but what the #1 seed gets you. So it's going to be interesting. I'm glad we're playing it at the Bowl. It's 15 minutes away. I don't have to drive to Bellflower to their new palatial manor up there. I'll look forward to seeing that the following year, but it's going to be a great matchup.
It's really good coaching, a lot of athletes, really skilled players on the other side. So we're going to have our hands full. We know it's going to be a challenge, but Raw has really instilled in us just to, work hard, and as a band of brothers, there's nothing that we can't accomplish. So we're going to work hard, we're going to grind this whole week, and hopefully come out on Friday.
Well, I know they're going to go hard every play. They're going to bring all they got. We're going to bring all we got. Every time we play them, it's always been a good game, always a lot of energy. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, no doubt. Well, they're a very good team. They're talented just like us. But, we just got to stop their run and match up against their wide receivers and just create turnovers like a good defense does.
Thank you to Mater Dei for hosting us on the Gridiron Show today. Real quickly, guys, your picks.
I'm picking Mater Dei, but the Monarchs are going to have to really play well on defense. They're going to have to not get steamrolled by George Halani and that great offensive line from Bosco. So if they can stop the run or contain Halani, I think they'll win a close game.
Yeah, Halani's really good.
I think so too. I think this game is it's kind of hard to see. It's kind of cloudy, almost as cloudy as Dan Albano's sunglasses frames are right now.
Well, it's a nice cloudy day too.
Yeah, but you know what? I like Mater Dei to win this game because I think that defensive backfield is pretty strong, and I also like Cody Epps to win the post-game dance contest for Mater Dei.
Yeah, he's pretty good. To the South Coast League we go, guys. San Clemente 4-4. They're 2-0 in league, taking on Capistrano Valley. San Clemente will be at Capo. San Clemente beat El Toro last week, homecoming weekend. They walloped them 63-13. Costello was great with 5 touchdown passing. San Clemente, Dan, looks like they may be in a little bit of a groove now. They've won 2 in a row. They've lost to some very, very good teams this season. Capo Valley, though, hey, they almost, you could call it an upset against Mission Viejo last week.
I will admit that the Cougars, really surprised me. I did not expect them to be within 1 touchdown. I never expected them to be up 14-0. And it's not that I know how talented of a quarterback, a senior, and Nathan Manning and those receivers. We talked about them. But now the next challenge for Capo, now that we know that they're better than I thought for sure, is can they start to go through this, these next 2 games where they play back-to-back good opponents, and that's going to be tough. Where this week it's San Clemente, and then it's going to be Tesoro, and this is a whole different ball game. As these guys here at the Trinity League know, you start to assemble that gauntlet, it's a different pick. I think Capo, they're going to be the pick to kind of cool off the Tritons for me.
Oh, you're picking Capo to win.
Capo
okay,
to win.
All right, Steve, I'll ask you for your prediction. Knowing that Capo lost to Mission 31-24 last week, the Cougars were ahead in the 3rd quarter, but you've seen San Clemente recently. They're getting it together.
Yeah, they are, but I like Capistrano Valley in this game as well, too. A lot of that's going to be, they got so close. They had that lead against Mission, and it kind of slipped through their fingers some. And also, to Mission Viejo's credit, they played gosh darn well and made the plays they had to make them, as Mission Viejo will do. But I think Capistrano Valley, if they, emotionally get over that, sort of that bad taste they had, and maybe even take that bad taste and take it out on San Clemente, I think Capo gets this game.
All right. Well, we'll go to the last game of the week, guys. We will preview Corona Del Mar versus Los Alamitos in the Sunset League. CDM 6-1, 2-0 on the year, as well as Los Alamitos. This game will be at Cerritos College Friday night. Both teams have won 6 in a row after losing their season opener. Dan, to me, this is a toss-up because these 2 teams are pretty similar. They're both public school teams. They've both won 6 in a row. They've both looked impressive. They both have great wins this year. Yeah. I don't know. Who you got?
I got Los Al. I flipped to the Los Al side after I saw them beat Long Beach Poly. But I won't be surprised if Corona Del Mar wins this game because they were my preseason pick. And to win the Sunset League, it's a great matchup. Especially Los Al's secondary, their defense, they're getting a lot of takeaways, and they're facing an offense that's on fire. A young offense like Ethan Garber's OC Register Offensive Player of the Week, just coming off a school record, 476 yards, and he even broke his older brother's school record. So Ethan's breaking Chase's record. His confidence is going up, and I really think Ethan Garber's is a star on the rise, and he's going to challenge Bryce Young next year. And then you got John Humphreys, maybe one of the best receivers in Orange County, for sure he is. So it's going to be a really great game. I'm picking the Griffins to win a very close one.
That bell means it's time to go to class, Steve. We'll
come up. It's time for me to talk.
Yeah, that's right. You got that right. So
you're done. The bell went off.
We're back in school.
It's like
Bad
the music
memories
that plays during the Oscars. Okay, you're done with your speech.
They get the hook.
Well, my take on this game, Jonathan, is I think Los Alamitos' defense is really gosh darn good, and I think that's going to be the difference maker in this game. Ethan Garbers and John Humphreys, my gosh, he's a wide receiver, and he's, 6'5", 200-something pounds, and Humphreys is a matchup problem for Los Al, but I think if they rush the pass or put a lot of pressure on Garbers, I think that'll be the key for Los Al to win this game.
Final thing, I'll just throw a stat at you. Los Alamitos, they defeated their last 2 opponents by a combined score of 111-7, and you mentioned Garbers, he had 6 touchdowns last week, and he's been on
1 too.
Yeah, oh man.
Yeah, he's having a great year.
Yeah, you think? All right.
That's the second time he's thrown for 6 this year.
Yeah, it's just
and he's got great receivers, Humphreys, Redmond, etc. Man,
we know this,
and that offensive line's really solid.
We know this, guys. Week 8 has some games. This is the weekend for Orange County football. Thanks to Dan Albano. Thanks to Steve Fryer. I'm Jonathan Khamis, and thank you for watching.